out, better like it's the Krewe FC, the round table where the real heads be. Talking NFL, the game we adore, but from the touchdowns to the legends, it's so much more. That fucking guy, he's got the stats on lock, dropping knowledge on the field, watching every block. Back and bleeding green, cheering loud and proud. In the sea of cheese, as he's standing out the crowd. I can't hear with the looks and the smarts, breaking down the plays, and he does it with heart. Then the stout, solid like the line. His takes are heavy, his vision's divine. Week by week, we break the game down. From every big play to every new crown. Offense, defense, we cover it all. From the springtime draft to the winner's last call. It's not just a podcast, it's a fan's lifeline. Connecting every moment from the vines to the side.
Good morning, gentlemen. Krewe NFC Roundtable Week 14. The playoff picture's supposed to be getting a little clear, and then you got the Chicago Bears messing shit up. What's up, Andy? How's it feeling being on top of the NFC?
Okay.
What's up, Mike? How you doing?
I'm here.
You're a Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
What happened, man?
What happened? What do you mean what happened?
What happened Thursday?
Oh, there was a game Thursday?
Not
I
really.
didn't see it.
What
I didn't
happened
see it.
Thursday?
I think I think going into Detroit and the Lions being on a 2-game skid is what happened. I think a lot of things that we saw, Pickens he's been getting praised all year, but I think him not slowing down routes and stuff, is he going back to his old way? Lamb getting hurt again, I think that hurt a little bit, but we couldn't run the ball and save our lives. And I don't know why Kenneth Murray is still playing linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys. I have no clue. That dude is terrible. Everybody just runs right at him, and he runs backwards. I don't know why they have him even playing. But we couldn't stop the run, and it didn't help. I think Eberflus, the way it was looking from me watching from previous weeks, he went back to what he was doing previously. And, we had a 3-game winning streak going, and he changed up, and I think that had a lot to do with it. You had momentum going, and keep doing what you're doing to make the defense do what it has been doing, and he just decided to change it back. But I do think Kenneth Murray needs to maybe special teams if he's lucky, because that was terrible watching him run backwards. So
you brought up George Pickens.
That's why.
And what's that?
Yes.
Okay. So that pass, that was definitely a catchable ball. That was definitely a play where he did not give full effort on. But with how well he's been doing, do you let him slide with that? Is that, okay, he took a play off, or is that an issue? You say he might be reverting back to his ways in Pittsburgh. And, is that a concern? You're not going to pay this man $30 million.
They have to nix it is what they have to do. It just, watching the game, we've talked about this before, how, I'm a big conspiracy theory, and they, when they do replays, they call Vegas, they don't call New York. It just looked like one of those games, there was a few people giving all out effort, and then it was just and then Pickens, it wasn't just the one play, there was multiple routes he did it on. I don't know if he wasn't thinking he was getting the ball or what was going on, but it was just terrible. But my biggest concern, he's been getting praised all year for how well he's done. So I don't really go too far with it, but it's the defense again. Something's changed from having a 3-game winning streak to now. And Murray at linebacker needs to be taken out. There was multiple plays. I lost count of him going backwards. So
whoa. Is that Brett Favre?
Sure.
How's it going, Brian? Thanks for stopping in today.
Yeah, sorry I'm a little late, but I made it. Made it happen.
Are you calling from the Lambeau bathroom?
No, I am calling from an apartment here in Appleton, Wisconsin. So,
right down the street.
yep.
Copy that. But
Ready to see the Bears' victory firsthand. Yay!
so if that was just going into the debacle that happened in Detroit, I really don't think Dallas played their best game to lose that game. They could have played a lot better game. I think they were in that game the whole time. Going to Detroit's a challenge. I mean, it's a hard place to play.
Mm-hmm.
Does Dallas panic going forward? Is there enough time for them to make up the ground in the NFC East?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I don't think this team's going to be a playoff team anyways. Like,
Well, we say it every year. There's only like 4 real playoff teams. The rest of us just fill out the bracket.
yeah. I don't think Dallas, as much as they look good for that 3-game winning streak going against people, it was almost like they took Detroit lightly and they weren't going to play full effort. But again, I think with Murray, like my biggest thing is that linebacker spot. And that's what hurt us a lot of those plays was him not going forward and going backwards. When you got a second and 12 and they run a run play and the tackle just shoves you 5 yards back because you've already gone backwards is a big issue. And you just add up everything that happened in that game. It just looked like they were ready to play football is what it looked like, is what it came down to. And we can't have that. Like we basically have to win out the rest of the year, which it's possible, but it's also
your
Dallas.
schedule's
So
not
who knows?
the toughest.
Well, let me call Vegas and find out. No.
Someone's eating sour grapes.
Well, I got to call Vegas and we'll find out. See what they want to do.
Right on. We'll stop beating up. We'll stop beating up Dallas. Detroit did that well enough. We'll go to the other NFC North teams. What's going on today in Green Bay? Who wants to go first here? Hate week, man.
I'll let him. He's been doing all the talking this week.
We know talking to me. Sir, Princess, you are getting your feelings hurt. But like I said, hopefully the Bears win, because if not, like I said, he's going to be I'm going to have to shut my phone off. So the Bears, of course, are 9-3 heading into the cheese factory there, Lambeau Field. If by chance the Bears win, and they're, of course, on that major upswing for Philadelphia, really what you actually have is they're going to probably end up, for the most part, running the table-ish. So if you have that opportunity to be able to actually go into Green Bay like they did last year, to end the streak and then maybe continue a streak of our own, but you do have some injuries, unfortunately. Roma Dunze, of course, got a stress fracture. He's going to be out, which is a major hit because I think he's actually leading the team in receptions. He's kind of like Mike Evans kind of a thing is, he catches the ball and he doesn't get too much yak after the fact, but he does, in fact, do fairly well. But he is definitely the pressure release for Caleb Williams. Tyreek Stevenson and Ruben Hyperlite, the second shoulder, they're both ruled out, unfortunately. So that's going to be as long as we don't get to that point, if you sack the quarterback in every play, then you don't have to worry about it. TJ Edwards is actually cleared to play, so he's going to be back. And they also promoted Jordan McFadden from the practice squad pretty much for just some extra depth in the offensive line. Now, with Green Bay, you actually have quite a few injuries. I don't know if you want to cover that real quick.
I don't have
right,
anything.
So what you basically have, several Packers are ruled out. Savion Williams is out. Marshawn Lloyd is out. Defensive end Lucas Van Ness is out. Defensive end Devontae Wyatt. And defensive end Colin Oliver are all unavailable. Questionable, Jaden Reed, shoulder and foot. Wide receiver Matthew Golden. Nate Hobbs, knee. And safety Javion Bullard, ankle. All listed with limited and no practice. So, they're kind of questionable for the game itself. Defensive front, the Packers get back Quay Walker and defensive tackle Carl Brooks. That helps shore up their front line against the run. So if you really want to talk about the run in and of itself, now that's actually unfortunate for Green Bay, all those injuries, but not necessarily unfortunate for the Bears. If they just happen to do what they did last week in Philadelphia, be able to control the ball, really control the game, a lot of misdirection, things of that nature, you're going to have big gaping holes, and you might have two running backs over 100 yards again, possibly. So if that's being the case, Roma Dunze, that basically means DJ Moore's got to show up big time. Cole Kmet, and of course, Mr. Loveland. So what you really kind of have is the Bears having an opportunity to go into Lambeau, and score 30 points. Let's just hope they don't allow 31.
Yeah.
So defense has actually been a major plus because of all the takeaways and things of that nature. You get a couple more takeaways, and now Green Bay's got a bit of an issue. If you can hurry Love, what he does with his happy feet and stuff like that. You take away a couple of his key players and things, and that actually bodes well for a potential Bears victory by touchdown and a half.
Well, look at it. Oh, go ahead, Brian. I'll let you give your retort, and I'll come up with some.
I mean, to be honest, there really isn't a retort. I actually agree a lot with what Andy is saying here. Besides the fact of scoring, putting up 31 points. I mean, come on. I mean, you're in La La Land again, Andy.
So
always.
But no, looking at the injury front, yes, we are pretty beat up defensively. I mean, Van Ness has been out half the season, so we really haven't relied on him. The Wyatt injury is the one that really hurts. I believe he's out for the rest of the year. He's actually he was having a really good season, and he got rolled up on in the last game, and I think it's like a broken ankle or something like that, if I remember right. Andy, you're right. The key to this game is stopping what the Bears have been doing for the last, I think 8 weeks now, and which is leading the NFL in rushing. And they are running the ball at will and running the ball down people's throats. It's amazing to see what they're actually doing. That offensive line's playing absolutely phenomenal. And that's my concern with this game is the Packers need to figure out a way to stop that run. Let's not worry about Caleb Williams. Let's worry about stopping Swift and Menanjai. It's going to be a tall task. I think. I mean, obviously, I'm up here. It's colder than hell. Let's just put it that way. It is cold. I think they said game time temperature 14 degrees, and by the time that sun goes down, they're saying it's like -5 wind chill. So it's going to be a cold game. I think the passing game is going to be a little more deflated. It's going to be more of a which offense is going to run the ball better against each other's defense. Does the Bears have enough defensively to stop Josh Jacobs? That's kind of been their biggest thing, but they've been proving it. And that's the thing that's what worries me. I am actually nervous for this game. I'm actually nervous going into Lambeau Field and watching this team play live today, knowing the fact that the Bears have been rolling. I see a close game. I actually see a lower scoring game. I actually think this is going to be one of those old school ground and pound games, and defense is going to end up winning. And I'd be perfectly honest with you, whoever turns the ball over is going to be the loser in this game.
So let me throw this at you real quick. Vegas has the over/under at 44.5.
That's on. I'm hitting.
I would lay that all day. I would lay the under like you would not believe for this game. But Green Bay is very good against the run. Very good against the run. They're very good against the run that's been developed by Ben Johnson, right? What did Green Bay allow against the Detroit Lions? Average.
I couldn't pull that.
3.2 yards a carry. Ben Johnson runs the same offense that has been ran in Detroit. So stopping the run, I think Green Bay has a good opportunity there. Chicago, Caleb Williams has the longest release time in the NFL right now. The way to beat the Packers is quick release passing. Again, I think that's advantage Packers. I'm not saying the Bears are going to lose, but I think you're looking at this game kind of not timid, but I don't think you have the confidence you should. I honestly think that Green Bay is set to stop this run game because they faced it already. They've proven they can do it.
So let's go ahead and retort because that was just absolutely asinine. There's a couple things. Number one, Ben Johnson's offense against Green Bay versus Detroit is certainly one thing. However, the only major difference is athleticism, the athletes and stuff that you're actually playing with. So, and granted, Detroit has amazing athletes, David Montgomery, of course, that kind of thing. But their offensive line is completely. It's different in the fact that I think over the last couple of 3 weeks, the offense is starting to not only congeal, but you can actually see some of the different types of plays that are new. So you have a couple of plays where you're actually not only pushing everybody to your left, but you also have an extra tight end that's actually going to, also, in his shuffle to the left or to the right, he, of course, crackbacks, not a crackback block, but he crackbacks, of course, and becomes another blocker, pushing everybody to that particular side, opening up a massive hole, usually on the opposite side itself. Though that's a relatively new play for the Bears that they've been able to run actually successfully, and that shows you last week versus Philadelphia. So if you have, and then you have a few defensive players that are out for Green Bay, I think that part actually bodes well for the Bears in the running game. So, yep, Roma Dunze, of course, is out with that stress fracture. It's going to be terrible. I've had a stress fracture in my foot, and it's certainly not fun. Hopefully, he can be back for the playoffs or maybe even for the Super Bowl. But really, what you have like with the Bears versus Green Bay, I have a feeling that if the Bears can actually control the ball like they did in Philadelphia, Green Bay wouldn't have that opportunity to be able to actually put any points on the board. And if they tried or attempted to in their offense, the Bears still have that unseen, basically 12th man in this particular case, which would be their takeaways. So if they have that opportunity to get one, possibly two takeaways, it's going to be a very long day for Green Bay, even with the weather being Green Bay-esque.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna get your defensive takeaways, Andy. I wasn't gonna just give you the Green Bay Packers spin on it, but you kind of stole my thunder there. With Jordan Love, if you can get pressure to him early, he's gonna make mistakes. He's prone to, if he starts off hot and has a good game, he's gonna let that continue through most of the game. However, you get in his face early, he's prone to mistakes. He's prone to turning the ball over. He's prone to putting the ball in harm's way. I mean, it's going to be a good game, but I think both teams have reason to be confident here.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I will say about the Jordan Love thing is, remember, it's Toyotathon. Look at his stats: 31 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Yeah, I get it. Look at the past.
He did it last week against Detroit.
No, I'm not calling you a lie. I'm saying, like Sam Darnold, right? Sam Darnold had a great season, and all of a sudden he becomes Sam Darnold again. I just worry with Jordan Love might just turn back into that person that we were cursing last year. That's putting the ball in harm's way.
If you're looking at anybody who's actually prone to the happy feet, it's definitely Jordan Love. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You hit him a couple, 2-3 times, you can see the happy feet literally creep in. And that's when things, are definitely good for the other team is when he starts getting that happy feet. You get to him another time or two. Not that he'll fold, but, some of his decisions and stuff like that, he might end up holding the ball a little bit longer than he could or should. Similar like Caleb, in the fact that, I think his release point for his passing, I think, is like right under 4 minutes.
I was going to say, I think he reads War and Peace before he even decides.
Right. They even had Micah Parsons trying to, practice for Caleb Williams and his craftiness, so to speak. But, you have that speed and that game speed is a little bit different than regular speed and stuff. So, if DJ Moore gets out in the open, he might have a pretty good game. Even though you might only have maybe 15 or 20 passes, those are going to be 15 or 20 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So
let's get a score prediction from you guys.
Scores?
Yeah, give me a score prediction.
178 -3.
Jesus.
All right, then.
Now, you're looking at probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 24-17 kind of a thing.
I actually agree. I was just about ready to say
like a touchdown and a half kind of deal. So, But again, you got to check out Vegas, I guess.
It's weird you guys are agreeing, and I didn't like that. I don't like when you guys aren't arguing. It's just not. It's not fun. But there is another game in the North.
No, there isn't.
Not that matters for most of us, but Washington at Minnesota. JJ McCarthy's coming back. Does that push the needle for anybody here? Mike? Michigan fan? Nothing? All right. Wayne Daniels back. That push the needle for anybody? All right. Let's go north. I mean, really, this is the game that matters this week, right? In the NFC. It's got to be Bears Packers.
Well, this game matters just to the NFC period. I mean, winner of this game's in great shape. The loser of this game's it falls to 7. I mean, that's where we're at.
Winners in, losers on the bubble.
Yep. This is like a playoff game. It's seriously like a playoff game. That's probably why I'm feeling so nervous about going to this game, because it's like, oh my God, here we go.
So this is a big game, you're saying? Like, to be honest with you, this is a big game. So you could just assume Micah Parsons won't show up. So we could just leave that right
there. Oh,
wow!
You just better be careful you don't freeze your cheese curds off.
So,
yeah.
Big game, no show.
Well, I think
keep your phone handy, Stout.
That's actually one of how they actually negate the rush. Is they use that other tight end and stuff like that, and that whole push to the sides, opening up that far side. So Parsons might not necessarily have an opportunity.
He opened up the playbook last week. Ben Johnson really did, showing the misdirection, showing the offset line. He's got to make the defenses think what's going on. You put a lot of tape out there prior to playoffs just so we can set something up later. I don't think this is the last you're going to see. I think it's him setting stuff up. He's one of those coaches that thinks not plays ahead, games ahead. Does that make sense? He's setting something up for the future.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree with you on that. And on that front with Micah Parsons, okay, so they're going to key on Micah Parsons, but everybody's forgetting Rashawn Gary's having a career year on the other side.
Yeah. Where'd you get him at?
Wasn't that Michigan?
I think he was a Michigan boy, ain't he? I was just making sure. Stout usually brags on it. He's just sitting there with his hand over his mouth. Try to give him love with J.J. McCarthy, nothing. Try to give him love with Gary, nothing.
Stout's problem is his favorite team lost to Indiana. He's got a big Buckeye thing, poster and stuff like that behind him. You can't tell you got that thick little thing.
Got that AI background going.
But I heart Buckeyes.
Before we go to NFC South or NFC East, not that any of the other games matter in the East, so we might as well just go South. I want to touch on one game this week, and that's the Rams game, because the Rams game, I think, has a big implication with your game as well.
Mm-hmm.
Can Arizona pull the upset here?
Of course.
Rams coming off a loss. Can Arizona help?
You're looking at the perfect. You're looking at the perfect storm right there. You have, one team coming off a loss, and I think you even said, you're going to play angry. And who's the best team to actually do that? An Arizona Cardinals that's, led by, not even by Kyler Murray. Didn't he get injured also?
He's done.
Which he might be done in Arizona, period. So
he's done.
Yeah.
So you got a team that's actually, a decent team. They got a good running game. They got good defense. And you're going against a team that really does not necessarily have either. So, that could be a painful game for Arizona for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Arizona's in almost every game. They've lost. I thought I saw 4 or 5 games by less than one touch or one score. Sooner or later, they're going to figure it out. I don't think they're that far off from pulling an upset like this, but I don't think they have the firepower to go with the Rams. Their upset week should have been last week against the Bucs. That was ripe for the take, and they just kind of wet the bed. But I just wanted your thought on that before we went anywhere else. Mike, you got any AFC East coverage?
Yeah, I want to go back to our host being an idiot and saying no other games matter. I mean, you still have the Eagles playing today, you idiot.
The
I
Eagles
mean,
don't matter.
I did my homework, and then now we're just gonna blow past everything.
I didn't blow
All right,
past
I'm
you. I
done.
just said your games don't
I'm
matter.
done doing it. I'm done doing it. Well, it does matter. I mean, you got Monday night, you got the Eagles playing the Chargers, and it's a big game for both of them. I think the
Hey, that-
Eagles, it's a must-win situation because between the Bears and Packers game tonight, whoever pulls that out, even if just say Green Bay does pull that out, it's going to drop Philly. Philly has to win. Even if they do win, they still got the head-to-head with the Bears if they lost. So, and with the Chargers, they're both 8-4. Who would have thought the Chargers would be 8-4? I did because their coach is awesome. But
Where's
I mean,
the
that's
coach from?
he
Stanford.
was
Stanford. Got it. All right.
he played college football at Michigan. But going into that game Monday night, it's the Eagles are still dealing with riddled injuries, and I don't know if that has a lot to do with them losing certain games. But Carter's going to be out again for them. Lane Johnson is still out, which I think is a big blow to that offense with him being out. You could see it in some of their games, and then going back and looking at the Chargers, their injury report, their reports are all coming out that Hampton's coming off IR. That running back that they have, and I think that gives them a shot in the arm. And with them playing in LA, I say this is going to be a hard game for the Eagles to pull out. I really do. I think the way Harbaugh's got the Chargers playing, and then that division anyways is going to be down to two teams the way it's looking right now, Denver and the Chargers. But I'd really do. This is a must-win game for Philly. I think the next few games are going to be a must-win for them to stay where they need to. Do I still think they win the NFC East? Yes. I don't think that's going to be an issue, but I really do. For playoff implications, they need to win this game in LA, or they're going to be in trouble. So,
Yeah, I really think the Lane Johnson injury is what's killing that offense. Not to mention AJ Brown, but that injury is not that their run game was great prior to him going down, but their run game has suffered. Their pass protection has suffered. They have no real chemistry, it seems, across the offensive line. I think that's huge. Go ahead, Brian.
Did I read something about one of their defensive players is out?
Jalen Carter.
Jalen
Carter's
Carter.
out of game. Yeah. So
that's going to hurt the run stop. He's actually a very active player. So
yeah. Oof. So, and then like I said, with him being with Carter, well, offensively with Johnson being out, they don't look like they're in sync whatsoever with anything. And I think that has a lot to do with him being gone, because I think he does a lot for that offense, which I think it shouldn't be him, but it is. I think Hurts should be stepping up, but it looks like he's not doing that if you just look. But with I think the biggest one for them is Carter being out. And if the Chargers are bringing back that, I think this is what Hampton is their rookie running back that got put on IR. Before he went on IR, he was looking awfully good to like be one of the top running backs. And with Carter being out, I think that's really going to hurt him. And they don't know, as of right now, Herbert's questionable because he just had surgery on his left hand. I guess I think they put a plate in there or something. So they don't even know if he's going to play. So that's going to be a big if too. I think if Herbert doesn't play, I think it's going to be a struggle for the Chargers. But I think if Herbert plays, it's going to be a lot of run games, I think, and that's going to hurt Philly. So,
yeah,
but it's a big playoff implication game with that. I mean, this week is between the Packers and the Bears, and then Philly. I think you're going to start seeing some room here, whatever happens this weekend.
Yeah, the NFC playoff picture is cloudy at best.
Yeah.
Cloudy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think we've ever, I mean, it's been a while since it's like, okay, we got three teams we got to worry about. But again, I'm going to say this, and I know me and Brian discussed this before, that tie with Dallas is starting to look a little more on the good side for Green Bay than it is for anybody else, unfortunately. especially if they win tonight. If they win tonight, I think that tie, ends up helping. But with that saying, I do hope I'm going to do what Andy did to me and Brian. I hope they tie, and I hope Green Bay has 2 of them.
I mean,
you want to talk about ties? This might be the only game in history that might end again in a negative score tie. Saints and Bucks, really?
Come on now.
That's an absolute horrible game of mediocrity right there.
What's crazy is that game has huge playoff implications as well. And I mean, Carolina can climb into the playoff seeding with a bye. You know what I mean? It's that big of a deal right now in the South. South is just a cluster. But like I was saying, the NFC playoff picture it doesn't all hinge on this week, but this is a pivotal week for the NFC playoff picture. You could have the Bears going from 1 to 7. You could have the Rams. If the Rams lose and the Packers, when the Packers are at 1 from 7 to 1, the Rams can go all the way down to the Rams would stay 2. If the Eagles lose, the Bucks win. I mean, it's just a jumble right now.
And I don't think we've had that in a while, like this close to the end of the season. And I think that's something new for everybody. I think it's a little bit more exciting this way. But what brings me up to why this being so close is what happens to the last couple games at the end of the season if this is this close. There's not going to be players sitting. So, what happens with that?
If Chicago wins today, not wishing this on you, Brian, whatsoever.
No, I got you.
The NFC North could come down to the last game of the season. If the Saints win today, the NFC South could come down to the last game of the season. If Philadelphia loses today and Dallas goes on a run here, it could come down to the last game of the season. I mean, they're all viable options right now. That definitely could happen. Except the Dallas.
Besides the last one, yeah, that's right. You just throw that in there and make me try to feel good, but I already know where I'm at. Don't worry about it.
You're still in it. You're still. I mean, I think you guys have a 63% chance to make it right now. If you win next week, it pumps it to 75. The Bucs are at the 4th seed with a 75% chance to make the playoffs right now.
That's because what a division they play in. We keep saying it over and over, but you don't listen.
You're missing the point.
I'm not. I see your point. The sky's falling again. Okay. The curtains are the problem.
There were no curtains in Detroit. Anyway, we can go south. We've wasted enough of everybody's time talking about Mike's boring garbage. But NFC South.
Nap time, everybody.
Seahawks at Atlanta. Hawks are favored by 6.5. Over-under is 44.5. Again, like I said earlier, Sam Darnold just always seems to revert back to who he is. This could be a game Atlanta pulls out. I really think Atlanta has a shot this game. They do have a couple players out. You got their defensive tackle, Dorlus, out. Safety Helms is out. And unfortunately for them, Drake London, their star wide receiver, is out today. Seahawks are fairly healthy. They've got Mills, their defensive end, out, and Young is out, their wide receiver. But Atlanta seems to play well at home. They're not a great team. They're far from a polished team, but they can play spoiler. Do you guys, not saying that they are going to win, but can you see a way that Atlanta pulls this game out?
I don't. There's 2 reasons. Seahawks defense and Kirk Cousins.
Fair enough. It's not Kirk Cousins, so.
I see, unless everybody on the Seahawks get injured, that's probably the only way that the Falcons.
I'll put it out this way. If the Falcons can control the clock, if Bijan Robinson can rush for over 100 yards, and Kirk Cousins limits turnovers, I think the Atlanta Falcons honestly have a chance to win this game. I'm not rooting for the Falcons. I hate Atlanta. But I do see the opportunity there. And for them to play spoiler, why not do it now? Why not try to start putting yourself on a tear, get yourself a worse draft pick?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that whole Falcons organization from top to bottom is trash, and I just don't see. I don't see it. I think they're just, to be brutally honest with you. I think I don't see any scenario that the Seahawks lose this game at all.
You don't see a team playing for their coach's livelihood. I mean, Raheem Morris is definitely Raheem definitely on the hot seat.
The door is already open for him to be fired.
Yeah, there's no way he's not. But do you play as a player? Do you play to keep your coach's job? Do you put the extra effort out, or are you already all right, making plans for the holidays, packing bags, getting ready to go on my 6-month hiatus? I mean,
I don't see it. I just don't. I don't see any. I don't see anything that would scream, "Hey, we're gonna play this game for our coach and whatnot." I mean, they're already missing Drake London. Their starting quarterback, who we all had questions about to begin with, is out for the rest of the year. The team hasn't played well in God knows how long. They make stupid decisions by signing Kirk Cousins to a mega deal. I mean, the whole organization, top to bottom, is trash.
Was that a stupid decision? No, I think the stupid decision was drafting Penix.
Well, that too. I mean,
you have Cousins in place. What kind of message are you sending the team? You're like, we just spent all this money to bring a veteran quarterback in that we feel can lead this team to the playoffs, to the Super Bowl, hypothetically. But you put that belief out there when you bring Cousins in, and then the very next draft, actually.
No, yeah, it was that
Penix.
Well, no, think about it like this. I mean, the same thing happened in Green Bay. And thing happened in several other places where you have a veteran quarterback, proven veteran quarterback. You sign him to a long-term deal, 5-6 years, whatever, and you're going to be actually training essentially your replacement. And that's all fine and dandy. You know, that's just the way it is. That's sport. That's business. But when you throw them in there, especially with 2 other torn ACLs, that's going to be a major red flag. But you know, it's just interesting the fact that you're actually considering the Falcons actually at 4-8, beating a 9-3 team with a solid offense and a solid defense. It's just not going to happen.
Any given Sunday. I mean,
any given Sunday, you can make sense.
Who saw IU beating Ohio State? Who had that on their bingo card?
He's still crying about it.
That IU locker room.
See, he's still crying about it.
You understand what I'm saying? It's. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying there's a possibility that you're going to see an upset this week, and it could be in Atlanta. But what I was saying is you're sending mixed messages to your team, and that's not from your coaching staff. That's from above your coaching staff. That's coming from your GM, your head of player personnel, blah, blah, blah. When you're bringing in a quarterback that Kirk Cousins wasn't a minor move. That was a big move to bring Cousins in. And then you're just going to go draft Penix, and not to be tutored under Kirk Cousins. They pretty much – Cousins had a couple bad games, and it was like, okay, give me Vaughn. What? I don't understand where that goes as a franchise. What move is that? That doesn't make sense to me. You're going to fire Raheem Morris, and then what? You're going to bring in another coach and do the exact same dog and pony show? I mean, great. I hate Atlanta, but that's just, I don't know. I'm done. I'm shutting up about Atlanta. New Orleans heads to Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers. Bucs get some good news on the injury front as they open the window for Mike Evans and Jalen McMillan to come back and play. Neither will play today, but the window's open, and that's good news for Bucs fans as they head closer to that playoff push. 2020, all you needed was a tear. You needed a win streak to get hot and take it to the Super Bowl. Bucs could be getting healthy at the right time. They are. So go ahead.
Well, sorry to interrupt. I was just considering this. Now, if you're looking at the potential for a Falcons over Seahawks, I definitely think there's a possibility of a Saints over the Bucs, especially considering you have really nothing to play for, but your arch rival getting knocked out of the playoffs or getting pushed out of the playoffs. So even though the Saints in and of themselves have major quarterback issues, Is it Spencer Rattler? Is it the guy in the stands? Who knows? Their offense is basically in shambles. The coaches, the only thing that they really need is Jameis Winston and Kyle Trask. If they had those two players right there.
You joke. The Saints have Jameis Winston this year. They have a better record than they do right now.
Yeah, no.
100%. Jameis Winston he's a locker room. We're not getting into this anyway. But I do see a scenario where the Saints win this game. And as a Bucs fan, why not? Why would you ever say there's no chance? But
the same thing with the Bears and the Packers. The Bears could be undefeated, and still, when they actually play the Packers, that could be a loss only simply because they know each other so well. Your defense,
I agree
the whole
wholeheartedly. This is what helps the Bucs today. Kamara's out, Huaga's out. Those are two key offensive pieces. Reed is out; he's their safety, but that's not as big a deal because the Saints defense isn't going to be winning them any ball games unless the Bucs turn the ball over ridiculously today. Wisdom is the only player that was potentially going to play today that is ruled out. He's a rotational safety, special teams player for the Bucs. Tristan Wirfs is questionable. That could be huge. If Wirfs doesn't go, I don't know what the Bucs are going to do offensively with the ground game. They might have to go with the pass. But again, the Saints defense isn't anything to fear as long as you don't turn the ball over. Interdivision games, especially when you're the home team, you're favored by 8.5, it kind of scares me as a fan because Vegas wants money to be going down on the Saints getting points or they wouldn't make it such a high spread. So my keys for the Bucs to win this game is running the ball. You got to get Bucky Irving, Rashad White, and I'd love to see them put Sean Spencer with Sean Tucker with a few more carries. I've done that twice now, putting Spencer on the Bucs. I've done that twice, 2 shows. But anyway,
I'm gonna have to tell him.
I've already told him. You got to get an easy 150 from them today on the ground. If you can control, again, I know I say this every week, control the clock, control field position, and control the tempo of the game. Those are the recipe for the Bucs to win today. Need a big game from their front 5, front 7, whatever you want to call it. Would love to see Yaya Diaby in the backfield quite a bit today. Hoping for at least 4 sacks from the Bucs, maybe 2 turnovers. But
real quick, let me ask you this: so you see how they beat the Buccaneers? Although it's pretty easy to beat them. But anyway, with the game that they had last week, and they were rustling up your quarterback, do you think that the Saints are going to actually try to emulate that and actually kind of, get 7 or 8 in the box and try to, get Baker Mayfield?
I do. I think that's the way you beat the Bucs is you get Baker moving and you put him at risk of injury. That's why the Bucs need to run the ball. They need to force the game to be played within the tackle box, north and south, rather than sideline to sideline, forcing Baker to stay in the pocket and throw the ball with time instead of off script and scrambling and trying to make those awkward throws where you're putting him in harm's way. But
because unfortunately, I don't think the Saints have the secondary to be able, if by chance he gets out of the pocket and actually gets or even a clean pocket and actually be able to throw downfield, I don't think the Saints have the secondary to be able to actually stop a whole lot. Although, and even Sunday.
Well, that's good for with the Bucs getting Chris Godwin back, he's got a game under his belt now. I think you're going to see a quicker, crisper with his routes and his cuts, and his hands should be a little better. He did drop a touchdown pass last week. With Chris coming back, it's going to release some pressure off Ekbuka, allowing him to play more freely. And then you always have Johnson. He's a small slot receiver, but he does things in the open field that none of these other receivers can. He's going to take the top off that defense and hopefully allow the Bucs to play a more rounded game. Like I said, need at least 150. Love to see more on the ground. But
any given Sunday.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not one to say that's wrong. I think the Saints are ready to play spoiler for there's nothing better than knocking your rival out other than being in the playoffs. and the Saints could knock the Bucs out of the playoff contention this week, and then the Bucs would be right back in it next week with a win and the Carolina loss. So, but what's your guys' game of the week other than your game? What game are you looking forward to watching?
That's it. There's only one game this week.
Basically the Packers and Bears game. Unfortunately, I don't want to say it, but I did. I thought it would be down between that and the Eagles and Chargers game, but I think the biggest one's going to be the Packers and Bears game.
I was just going to say, like, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be watching much because I'll be at Lambeau, but if I were to be watching, unfortunately, I don't know besides the Packer and Bears game and maybe the what Stout was saying with Philly, I don't think there's a lot of true interesting games in the NFC this week for me to just scream, "Hey, I want to sit my ass down and watch this game." I think there's more compelling games in the AFC, unfortunately, this week than there are in the NFC. But
there are, but what I'm saying is with all these games having implications for the playoffs. You got 3 games out of 4 conferences right now that hold heavy implications for the playoffs.
Right.
And I don't know if any game matches up to what you're looking at in Lambeau today.
No.
I don't think that it's almost unfair for other networks that aren't carrying that game because everyone's going to be flipping to that game or they're watching the red zone and waiting to see. You know what I mean? I think the Packers are going to have the focus tonight. Bears, Bears. I say Packers.
You also have the Eagles and the Chargers. You know, that has playoff implications. You know, you have 2 teams pretty much heavy hitters going at it, and that's going to be, you know, who's going to end up coming out of that. That might be another one of those. I don't necessarily see the Eagles actually losing 3 in a row, 2 in a row, whatever it was. But if they were to go on a losing streak, that would definitely be the one, especially it's an away game. Go from one coast to the other. Yeah, that's you could definitely see the Chargers actually winning that game also.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
No, I just think with this week, with looking at a lot of the games, I think with the Packers and Bears are going to be the first game to watch, and I think the Eagles and Chargers will be because that's, you know, same record. They both need to win to kind of have a higher, you know, spot or win their division. But I think the third game is really interesting to say is the Colts and the Jaguars. I mean, I don't think we'd be saying that, you know, the past couple of years, but they're both 8-4 playing for the division. And, you know, but as much as I think we could all agree the Packers-Bears game is big and it's going to be a big game just because of the playoff implications, and it kind of pushes that game down. But I just think it's really weird to have those words come out that this is a big game too, as the Colts and Jaguars.
Well, on top of that though, because, you know, we're talking, this is why, you know, we were talking about like all these games defining what the NFC playoff picture is going to be. You're right on that Jaguars Colts game, but let also think about the Houston Kansas City game, because Houston's just as much in that division as the Jags and the Colts, and we could be witnessing the end of the run or the Kansas City Chiefs today because Houston's defense is legit.
It could end so swiftly.
He's been waiting. He's been waiting for that.
Get rid of Andy Reid. Get rid of Mahomes. Your segues suck.
Yeah, I was just not letting you talk anymore.
They're pretty good.
Don't let me talk no more.
I like his segues. Shuts you up.
Since Stout and I are the only 2 that actually did our homework this week, Brian.
Yes. Well, it's funny because I still haven't done my homework, so I'm going to do this on the fly. So you were talking about that Seahawks game or whatever. That's how confident I am with the Seahawks. I'm putting them at 6. We're gonna go with the 5 spot. I think I'm gonna go the Rams because I don't see that happening with Arizona beating a team that just came off a loss, and there's plenty of implications there. My 4. Let's go with. I'm actually going to do this. I think Houston's going to go in and pull it off in Kansas City. That's my 4.
Amazing.
My number 3. I am going to go Philly. I think they'll win. To my 2. We're going to go Jacksonville, and my 1 is the Packers.
All right, Andy. I gave you a little extra time.
Well, I've been ready all week.
No, I meant time as in because it takes you about 15 minutes to give us your picks. So you got 9 minutes.
You have 6 minutes, Andy. 6 minutes.
Challenge accepted. So I think we are going to probably end up having to go with the Seahawks as well. The Seahawks, of course, are coming in to a relatively hostile, but you also have a Atlanta Falcons team that only 6 minutes, right?
Come on, man.
Seahawks at number 6. Let's see. I'm going to go with the Ravens at number 5. I think they're going to beat up on the Steelers. I'm going to have to go with the Finns over the Jets at number 4. Rams over the Cardinals, even though that should actually be a little bit higher, but that's all right. I'm probably going to go actually with the Texans over the Chefs, even though it's in Chef land, and of course, there should actually be like a 7 spot and a 1 spot. That way I can actually put the Bears twice.
Yeah.
And then we're looking for that 1.5 touchdown victory.
All right.
All right.
I'll let you go.
Brian wasn't here. So, Brian, before we get it, I'm going to make this real quick, not like 80 long. But we're supposed to get our picks in by Thursday night, correct? Yes or no? Okay.
Oh.
Well, I didn't have my picks in because somebody didn't send it. So here's my list. 1, I got Seattle at 6. Now the Falcons are going to win because anytime any of us all pick Seattle at 6, they lose. So that's a loss. I got Denver at 5. The Colts at 4, the Rams at 3, Kansas City at 2, and I picked the Ravens at 1. I couldn't get my picks in. Mike Wade, he made rules. He made rules.
Purposely didn't get his picks in so he didn't have to pick the Cowboys.
I couldn't because the thing wasn't up. You didn't put the picture in time. That's not my fault. You didn't do your job. It's your job. I don't care if you're in the hospital. Get the thing done. You're probably on your phone anyways. Playing Minecraft or something. Put the thing in.
Minecraft. Yeah. At 1, he's got Dallas. All right. So,
Ravens.
At 6, I've got Seattle. 5, the Rams. 4, Denver. 3, Bills. 2, Bucks. And at 1, I have Miami, and I'm not really confident in that one, sadly. Brian, you got any for us bet-wise?
Well, there's no legalized gambling here in Wisconsin, but I'll just give you something real quick. I think if you parlay the unders on both the Bears Packers game and the Jaguars Colts game, you should make some money.
Copy that. Gentlemen, we have 7 minutes left, but I think we're going to end early for the first time unless Mike's going to go on a tangent.
I'm going to go on a tangent, but one last thing we all have to do is somebody on the crew had a birthday the other day. We probably should wish them a happy birthday and let them know.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Happy birthday, Brian.
Thank you.
Right.
It's a big milestone. 45 is a big milestone.
I wish it was 45.
I was trying to be nice.
Yeah.
What is it?
Trying to be nice. I didn't want to say 55.
48.
Oh, that's right. I'm the youngest one on the show. That's right. I keep on forgetting.
You look like that, and you're the youngest one? Good Lord.
I do want to apologize. We haven't had a show for the last 2 weeks because Mike had shaved, and we got a lot of calls from the Chomo Network. On the air. Anyway.
You're not allowed to have a scrotum on TV.
I'm getting ready. I'm going to shave again. Now, just no, I'm not, because I had instant regret doing that. I'm not doing that ever again. It's not happening.
Wow. Wow. I'm so glad I came on now.
You gentlemen have some clothing. Get it again.
Clothing. Yeah, we got it up.
What was that one part? Do you remember that part from Men in Black? You know, when they were like making the introductions after Tommy Lee Jones' character came back in the second one. He's like, hey, he's a Bolchinian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like movies. Movies are awesome.
You look in the mirror again, Andy? You Bolchinian?
All right.
Wow.
I'd like to thank our wives and families for allowing us to come on an hour each week to be complete and total morons. We'll see you guys again.
You know, Andy,
Go Bears.
you suck. Bears suck.